Happy Mother's Day weekend. I'm Kenesha Dees here with your Fox 54 Weekend Review, an original series on Fox 54 Plus. It's been a busy week across North Alabama. Here's a peek at what's ahead in this week's episode. A new place to live and learn. 2 North Alabama colleges prepare to open up a dormitory for its performing arts students. A place to shop is a phrase leaders of one Huntsville neighborhood says has been a constant plea from residents. Those pleas are about to turn to reality. And a place to grow. The Morrisville area is about to become the latest in the ever-growing communities for an expanding Huntsville and Madison County. We'll speak with the planners. But we'll start with weather. Severe storms spawned tornadoes across North Alabama, causing significant damage. We'll start with this clip from the Limestone County EMA. This is a confirmed tornado. This video was captured from the Lucy Branch Marina going east. Here's another image that we have. Significant damage at this roof, and this was based from a viewer sent photo that was sent to us based out of the McMullen Cove community area near Gurley. Here's another image we have here, a toppled over high voltage transmission tower. It's one of 6 the TVA is working to fix. And lastly, this image, wow, it is an uprooted tree in front of a home in the Eccles Hill community in Huntsville. Thanks to those agencies and viewers who shared photos and video with us to help tell the story and keep residents safe. Fox 54 Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman joins us now. Jordan, as we record this program Friday afternoon, what do we know about the storms that passed through?
Well, we know a couple of things, and there's still a lot of questions that need answered. And again, it is important to remember that this program is being recorded on a Friday afternoon, and things are likely going to change and evolve through the course of the weekend. Right now, we have 5 confirmed tornadoes right now, all of which are across North Alabama. An EF3 tornado in the Brigadoon community in Limestone County. An EF2 tornado that was in Gurley in Madison County. Another EF2 tornado in Henniger, DeKalb County. We have an EF1 tornado that is Huntsville, the 5 Points area, over into Hampton Cove a little bit. That is in Madison County. And as it stands right now, as of this recording, an EF0 tornado, Rainbow Mountain and Madison. Again, things are likely to change and continue to evolve over the course of the weekend. I wanted to do a quick little total summary of the number of watches and different warnings. Over the course of about 5 hours or so, there were a grand total of 31 tornado warnings issued, and then there were a grand total of 34 severe thunderstorm warnings. Kenesha?
All right, thank you so much, Jordan. North Alabama spent most of Thursday cleaning up some of the worst damage. It's where we pick up our coverage from this week.
We got in there, we shut the door, we started praying, and it's like the house exploded.
Sherry Pearson says there's only one thing helping her through this difficult time, and that's her unwavering faith.
We are so grateful to the Lord Jesus Christ for taking us into His care and love and protecting us.
Pearson's left with very few clothes, and her home will have to be completely rebuilt.
They said it's not unsalvageable, so we're trying to get just precious memento of our family heirlooms, cherished, that you can't replace. And we're trying to get them out before the ceilings fall in. I'm just grateful everybody in the neighborhood was safe and accounted for, and I'm grateful for that. The Lord Jesus is our Savior, and we have a strong relationship with Him, and He pulled us through it, just absolutely pulled us through it.
Just around the corner, Randy Hanna's home was also hit hard.
All of a sudden I heard a big, they say a railroad train, but it's almost a railroad train sound.
After hearing the loud commotion, Hanna says he told his wife to get into the basement.
But then all the windows started getting hit with, as you could see, the shingles and stuff.
Last night's storms left Hanna with about 10 leaks in different areas of his home,
including the second floor, first floor.
That was our Jasmine Bird reporting. Certainly a long road to recovery for them. Thankfully, they are alive to tell their story. All right, well, here in the Huntsville metro area, it's been a while since we've seen severe weather like this, an apparent tornado. Probably you're wondering what's going to happen next. Well, city leaders updated the community on damage response efforts. Some of those include how the city is helping to clean up debris and the latest on power outages. Huntsville Utilities reported at least 3,300 customers remain without power at this time. Here's more.
While the damage was widespread across the entire county, except maybe the southeast portion of the county, obviously the hardest hit area was the 5 Points Old Town Blossomwood area. We're working diligently, maximum effort right now to restore power to that area. We have a tremendous amount of resources focused on that area, working very diligently to get power restored tonight to as many customers as possible in that affected area.
All right, and the Tennessee Valley Authority working hard to get power restored after 6 high voltage transmission lines were damaged. TVA shared these images of downed power lines and destroyed structures. The company says power has been rerouted to most local power companies that were affected. TVA warning everyone that if you see a downed power line to stay clear of it. I repeat, stay clear of it. It could still be energized. Jackson County was one of the harder hit areas last night. Emergency management officials there have created an easy way for residents to submit damage reports. A citizen self-reporting form has been posted to allow residents to submit reports as quickly as possible. This information will help officials determine whether a tornado, straight line winds, or other severe weather caused the damage. To learn more about it, visit FOX54.com.
We've lived here 12 years.
And have you ever has anything like this ever happened in this area?
Yes, in 11.
Having lived through a situation like this before, for White, yesterday's tornado,
It wasn't the same as the one that come on 40. That one was a whistling, you know, and then you heard everything. This one just came. I mean, you could hear it popping the trees, the wind blowing, but there wasn't the whistling sound. And then we started hearing other things break apart and fly, and it racked on. You know, you think it's a long time, but we knew everything was gone when we heard the trees breaking and stuff.
and much was lost.
We have 30 acres. He had a hay barn. He had a workshop. We had 2 more buildings on this side, and they're all gone. They're all gone.
But the 2011 storms also brought a lesson.
As soon as the storm shelter, we hear the siren. In the shed we go. In the shelter we go. I won't be caught without some shelter ever again.
With the essentials and family memories, this shelter
That saved our lives. And I know that saved our lives. You know, not just mine, my husband, my nephews. That's the only reason we're alive, is for being in the storm shelter. There's no way we could have survived this.
I know you can't really describe the magnitude of what's lost here, but where do you begin to pick up the pieces?
I don't know. We did have a house. We had to put a roof on and do work, but we had a house. We don't have one now, so I really don't know. That'll be later on. That's not today's decision. I mean, you'll come back here, you'll buy something somewhere else, you start over.
White knows that part is easier said than done.
We just have to. I mean, you know, there ain't nobody gonna bring me no bed out here and sit it there and say, here you go, you got something started. We'll just have to take one day at a time and piece it back together.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Thank you, Ken. Wishing Wanda and her family the best in their recovery. All right, well, one popular spot in Scottsboro, known for selling lost luggage, got hit with some damage too. The Unclaimed Baggages bargain basement was among the areas affected. Store leaders kept watch on the store as the storm passed through last night and responded in the early hours of the morning to start assessing the damage. The public relations manager says she's thankful everyone was okay.
The bargain basement, which is another area of our store, will be closed today, and until we're able to evaluate the damage over there and get that solved, I know there's roof damage and some flooding on the lower level over there. We have a house here on our property that is home to several of our office buildings that received a lot of damage, but we are just ultimately grateful that, you know, everybody was safe here, that there wasn't more damage.
Well, for an update on store hours, check the store's Facebook page.
All right, the Orion was named Best Amphitheater by Billboard earlier this year, and customer experience had a lot to do with that honor. Earlier, 2 new partnerships were introduced, and it's sure to either fill your stomach or quench your thirst, or maybe even both. Take a look.
Tonight's a really special event.
Today, the Orion unveiled 2 local partnerships that will fill your stomachs and quench your thirst.
We're launching 2 significant things for this season. One is working with Odette, a restaurant out of Florence, Muscle Shoals. Chef Josh, fantastic, opening an outlet here for the customers. He's actually a chef that caters to all the artists backstage, so that's pretty exciting.
Well, let's meet Chef Josh.
So we've got a good partnership here. So we've got the restaurant that we're doing for all the guests, and we're also taking care of the artists when they come in to play at the venue.
Attendees can expect to enjoy some great eats that put a twist on some of your favorites.
We try to pull flavors from kind of all over the world, but using local ingredients, some local ideas of food. We're in the South, so we kind of try to have that, local vegetables and local protein.
And many in attendance had nothing but good things to say.
We've got a crew that's very passionate about the food they produce, and when we hear that, and I get to share that with them, and it just really lifts their spirits. They believe in the food, they believe in the product, they believe in the hospitality that we're providing, and so it's really just the kind of the icing on the cake.
Who's next, Ryan?
The second part is we've partnered with Yellowhammer Brewing here in town, and they've made a special Orion beer, and it's a Hell's Lager, and we're premiering that tonight.
So Yellowhammer's one of the larger craft breweries in Huntsville, and it was founded in 2010 by 4 guys that had a love of beer and wanted to find a place where they could, enjoy that.
Brimmer Sherman, spokesperson with Yellowhammer, shares how the partnership started.
We're big fans of local music, and we have it at our brewery, most weekends. And so when the Orion Amphitheater decided, was being conceived and came up, we made it a high priority for us to work with these guys. So we've been working with them really since the beginning, and to quote Bob Dylan, a long time ago.
Both partnerships highlight the Orion's commitment to the customer experience.
I feel like the more and more that, not only is the local and regional customer base and fans going to really enjoy having these offerings, but the Orion's becoming such a destination that when people come here, they can have a local beer and eat the local food, and they really get a taste of North Alabama. It's a really special thing.
Well, we're just 5 months away from the presidential election, and with multiple state and local races happening in Alabama before November, it's shaping up to be a very busy election season. One nonprofit stopped by the Rocket City today in an effort to make sure the community is prepared. The nonpartisan committee of 100 young professionals hosted their 9th Rock the Vote event in downtown Huntsville this afternoon. Community members were able to meet with dozens of elected officials and learn about upcoming elections. We spoke with the co-chair of Rock the Vote, who shared how the organization helps potential voters.
So we've got representatives from the probate court that are here helping people figure out where to register to vote, or if they're registered to vote. They're also helping them if they've ever moved in the past couple of years. They might have a place to vote. And helping them figure out that information before voting day.
For more information about the upcoming election season and to verify if you are eligible to vote, please visit our website.
If you're a student at Athens State or Calhoun Community College, listen up. Your commute to class could get a whole lot easier, and it's because of a new residence hall. Our Jasmine Bird tells us all about it.
Well, just behind me, you're looking at the new Alabama Center for the Arts Residence Hall, and this residence hall is going to benefit students at Calhoun Community College and Athens State University. I even spoke with one student who says this new residence hall is going to impact her because it's going to cut her commute time in half by a long shot.
So I actually stay out in Hazel Green right now, so the commute is pretty far.
For graphic design major Takashis Granberry, this new residence hall couldn't have come at a better time.
I'm having to do like a lot of art classes and stuff like that. So just being able to stay closer to where I'm taking classes will help me, and it's closer to my job too. So it's a win-win for me.
Calhoun Community College President Jimmy Hodges says the facility has been in the works for a little over 2 years now.
What's really neat about the facility is that it is going to help our students have the full and complete college experience with being able to go to school at the art college and then to also live in a residence hall. Also, when they, if they happen to transfer on to Athens State, which is where we have our partnership with, then they'll be able to complete their BFA, Bachelor in Fine Arts degree at Athens, and stay at Residence Hall the whole time.
And the good news is,
well, it'll be available to any and all students, but yes, we want to first give an opportunity to the Art Center students to be there.
I know where I live, it's kind of hard to like come here back and forth because it's a long drive.
Plus being so close to the school, it gives you more time to, you know, study and everything, less time to be in the car.
Applications are now open for the new residence hall, offering 49 apartments for Calhoun students and 49 apartments for Athens State students. Indicator, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Well, it's that time of year again. The annual burn ban is in effect for 12 counties in the state, including Madison and Morgan counties. Our Simon Williams spoke with Huntsville Fire and Rescue about what you need to know about the order.
From May 1st to October 31st, a burn ban is instated to stop people from polluting the air when they burn things on their property. Burning non-natural vegetation is an extra respiratory irritant, especially during warm weather months. None of this should come as a surprise, says Huntsville Fire Marshal Dan Wilkerson.
Yeah, they should know it's routine. It's been in effect for a very long time. A lot of people think it's because of fire safety, but it actually has to do with quality of air. Ozone's good up in the atmosphere, but on ground level, it's not.
Each year, the ordinance applies to 12 of the state's top 35 most populated counties. It prohibits the open burning of stuff like wood, tree trimmings, brush, and debris. Non-vegetative materials, such as oils, plastics, vinyl, paper, garbage, can't be burned at any time. But what if you've got an outdoor fire pit in your yard for a campfire?
It doesn't apply to that. This is basically if you're clearing land, trying to burn debris off, which we normally allow in a pit in the other months, but we cannot permit it or allow it between May 1st and October 31st.
And if you've got any natural materials that you want to clear, let it decompose. That's the ADEM's most environmentally friendly suggestion for disposal. And as a reminder, the May to October warm weather burn ban is different from those that get issued during times of less than average rainfall. For more information, visit our website at fox54.com. In Huntsville, Simon Williams, Fox 54 News.
Tonight, the City Council approved the new city repo ordinance with a 4-to-1 vote. It largely follows cries for justice in the death of Steve Perkins by an accused officer. The new ordinance would require repo agents to notify Decatur police 30 minutes prior to repossessing a car and 1 hour after the repo is complete. It also states that repossessors should consider that the risk of a breach of peace may increase during the early morning hours. And due to this, they are encouraged to act accordingly for the safety of all involved, especially in residential areas. But for some residents, change doesn't start with just the new repossession ordinance.
I don't have any further things to say on the ordinance except I hope that you will pass it, and after that I hope we can dedicate that same intensity and time to working on getting these officers in line or fired.
Right, well, the new law will go into effect on June 1st. Transformative project looking to shape the area of Morrisville is shifting away from the idea of today's traditional developments and bringing something more connected to the area. Our Ken McCoy spoke with the developers of this project and has the story.
Most newer developments have developed what some would call a copy and paste type of style.
You see a lot of houses go in where you have to look at the street number to determine whether or not it's your house that you're pulling into, because they all look the same.
For Rockford Realty and Construction and Land Innovation, the partnership behind their next project stems from
this idea of authenticity.
Both looking to bring an innovative development to North Alabama while preserving the history and authenticity of Morrisville.
It is focusing on the walkability of a community. When you come home, you do not have to get in your car again. You may have a golf cart, you may have a bicycle, you may have skates. You're going to work your way to a dinner spot or take your kids to an ice cream shop, and it's going to really thrive based on the outdoor, conservation. I mean, you have to be, conservation has to be at the core of our thought process.
While the development might not live up to today's traditional standards,
what we say is the old is new. If you look at the way that people lived several years ago, before the advent of vehicle-driven cars or vehicle-driven environments, small towns, they felt good. You had a front porch. You sat on your front porch and you talked to your neighbor when they were out walking their dog. So we are very intent on developing in such a way that we develop to the human scale, but we also are very, very cognizant of history and culture.
both say that the growth of this project will happen organically, ideally bringing connectivity throughout the city.
If you want to live here and you want to work in downtown Huntsville, you can do that very easily. If you want to live here and you want to work in downtown Decatur, it's just right down the road. You can do that very easily. Same thing for Athens. You can get there. If you want to catch a Trash Pandas game, you're right there. You can get there to do that. But you still have the opportunity to have this idyllic setting that is a comfortable place to live.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
All right, well, here we grow again. The city of Huntsville held a ribbon cutting today, celebrating the grand opening of the expanded 20-acre John Hunt Park sports facility. The facility is dedicated in recognition of former Huntsville Mayor Loretta Spencer. The Loretta P. Spencer Complex will be used for multi-purpose field sports like soccer, lacrosse, ultimate frisbee, and more.
We're very excited about what this represents to the community, to sports tourism. We have a championship caliber facility here. We've got 4 fields, 2 synthetic, 2 natural grass. So it really expands our offerings to the community.
I have to give the main credit to the parents who came to me and said, we're in traveling soccer, and if you'll build us some fields, we'll bring the travels to Huntsville.
Well, this is a $17 million expansion, and stadium seating will accommodate up to 5,000 sports fans.
Now, Fox 54 Top Teacher, sponsored by Calhoun Community College.
Every week for several months, we highlight teachers making a difference across the Tennessee Valley. So before we honor this week's top teacher, from all of us here at Fox 54, we want to thank all of you, our hardworking teachers, for all that you do in honor of Teacher Appreciation Week. And with that said, I'm excited to introduce to you this week's top teacher, Kathy Crutcher from Madison Elementary School.
These smart cookies, let's give them a round of applause.
Welcome to Miss Kathy Crutcher's class.
Second graders, they're still at that age where they're so impressionable.
Crutcher has been teaching here.
This is my 29th year as an educator at Madison Elementary.
Since before the Madison City School District was created. In fact, this very school is historic, the first of Madison City schools, for more reasons than one.
Just the first place that I interviewed, and my principal at the time and I hit it off, and just been here ever since.
Her calling to be a teacher runs in her blood.
I got into teaching because of my aunt. I have a lot of relatives that are educators. My brother's a principal. My sister is a counselor.
She's been counting the years and counting with students.
This time of year, we're really into money and counting money and coins.
Crutcher is praised for her nurturing and stimulating learning environment.
We're playing this game with coins where we pretend we have a store and they have to show me the amount that they're going to purchase the different things from the store.
Her principal, Jamie Golliver, says Crutcher holds a special place in this school.
Well deserved. Ms. Crutcher's somebody who always puts her students' needs first, and she's just a wonderful part of the fabric that makes up our school, and just so proud of her and happy for her. Well deserved.
Sometimes school is the place where they can just be kids and feel like they're a part of something.
School is the place, but for Crutcher, she wants to be one of the people to make kids feel part of something.
The thing that motivates me most are the 21 little bodies that's sitting in my classroom. I get up every day just for them.
Sweet. Well, congratulations, Ms. Crutcher. Check out the moment she was surprised as top teacher. And in honor of Teacher Appreciation Week, nominate a deserving one at fox54.com. Well, a daycare in Guntersville is under investigation by the Marshall County DA's office. Kids Corner now closed after allegations were made by a former employee. The DA says that they found evidence that 2 employees at that center were violating Alabama law in their interactions with children. A warrant for harassment was issued for one of those employees. It was also revealed that Alabama's mandatory reporter law was violated. The DA making it clear that all affected families have been notified. We reached out to Guntersville Police for more information and are waiting to hear back. Losing a loved one is never easy, and losing a loved one in the line of duty can be an even harder pill to swallow. Today, the Fraternal Order of Police honored those fallen officers at the Madison County Courthouse. Our Jasmine Bird was at the memorial.
I think it was important to honor the families and stuff that to lose their loved ones.
Huntsville resident Isaiah Wineland says witnessing the reflections during this fallen officer memorial was a major eye-opener, and Wineland is already thinking about his future.
Actually, I'm thinking about joining if I can. I want to join.
Madison County Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer Brent Patterson shares a word of advice and makes it very clear that being an officer is more than just a job.
To the officers who do this each and every day, what we have is a calling. This is just not a job, and it's much more than a career. This career path is not for everyone. It's not meant and it's not built for everyone. But the ones that you see out here today is a small portion of men and women in uniform, and we're very appreciative for them.
And with 26 law enforcement officers in the history of Madison County who've lost their lives while protecting the community.
It's a sad occasion. It's a solemn occasion. You know, in law enforcement, this is probably the most important day of the year. It's an opportunity to recognize them, remember them, and thank their family who are there today. We, as you may have seen, we have young children here that are longtime descendants of those that we lost in the line of duty.
In Huntsville, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
This is for you grocery shoppers out there. Progress is underway at one of the new Food City grocery stores making its way to town.
You are standing on so many hopes, wishes, prayers.
North Huntsville is finally getting the store they've been wanting.
I can promise you, this was not taking a chance. This was making an investment. Some kid will have their first job at Food City right here.
Food City hosted 2 groundbreaking ceremonies earlier, making 3 stores to break ground in the city this past year. Councilman Devin Keefe says the addition of the one for North Huntsville can't be put into words.
I can't even express it. What a moment. About 1.5 years, 2 years ago, we started discussing our investments around food deserts, about bringing in new food and grocery store options for the city of Huntsville. And then through the works of about 1.5 years of negotiations, the Food City developers and the Bentley family, we found a location here in North Huntsville what will be a new grocery store that hasn't happened in decades.
Mayor Battle also spoke on the significance of a store for North Huntsville.
By doing this and by working with the Food City, there's going to be 200 people who have jobs out here who would not have had those jobs. There's going to be a lot of trade, a lot of production. This is something that makes this community a special place. And to Devin Keith, the one who has pushed us, he says, I need a food store, I need a food store, I need a food store. You got one.
It's an area that really needed a great supermarket. I don't know that you call it a food desert, but it certainly needed a store for people to shop in. It's an area that's growing, it's an area that's progressive, and we want to be part of that growth. That's what we love about Madison County and Huntsville in general. There's a lot of growth, a lot of great industry here. It's just a perfect place for us to move our family business into and be able to supply good groceries to good people.
The addition of jobs is just one added benefit.
So you want to diversify any job market and the opportunities that, you know, your first grocery store job for a teenager, but as they stated, for elderly individuals who want to work a certain amount of part-time hours. And then you're diversifying what is offered here at the location. There'll be out parcels that will be sold off to potential food stores. There will also be a credit union here, a Starbucks, which I'll probably be using a lot of. So this location does a number of things. A lot of birds with one stone.
And there's more to come soon.
You guys will be back here videotaping something very soon. Not only is Bob Wade dumping off at this location, but we'll be announcing some of the work that we're going to be doing across the street. Now, everything takes time. I want everybody to know they're not going to be able to build a food city in 4 days. But what they do build here will last forever and have an impact as well on generations to come.
For Fox 54 News, I'm Ken McCoy.
Well, tonight, we're also learning new details about potential layoffs with Boeing. An Alabama Warn List report shows that a layoff could soon affect Boeing employees in Huntsville. The list showed that 128 employees could be laid off by June 28th. One of the programs affected will be the Space Launch System program, but other programs could also be affected. We reached out to Boeing and they shared with us, in quote, "We have notified some team members in Huntsville of a potential layoff as programs are affected by decisions external to Boeing. We will continue to be transparent with team members and explore alternative placement opportunities within Boeing for impacted employees," end quote. UNA is in mourning today. The university announced the passing of its mascot lion, Leo III. He was 21 years old. Our Jasmine Bird spent some time with students and faculty, and tonight we learn about the imprint Leo left on campus.
It's a sad day for the UNA community, mourning the loss of their beloved lion, Leo III, who would lay right here in this habitat that you see behind me. Leo III was 21, and I talked with one student who says he is definitely going to miss Leo. He has a couple of stories, memories of Leo, and he says it was Leo that actually brought him and his sibling closer together when he first came to UNA. Let's take a look.
So my freshman year, I would come by here almost like the first few weeks or so, and I would take a picture of Leo and send it off to my sister because it was like my first time being away from home for a very long time, and I figured it would be a good way to have that connection between each other for me and my sister.
Michael Gilland is a sophomore history major at UNA. Gilland says when he heard the news, it was saddening, but he wasn't surprised.
It almost didn't surprise me because his handler had died a few years back. Well, not a few years back, a few months back actually. And he looked very lonely ever since his sister Una died.
Gilland is a student worker at Willingham Hall, just across from the George H. Carroll Lion Habitat, and says he will miss the one thing he could always count on from Leo, and that's hearing him roar every day during work.
So I don't know how, but like every morning at 8, he would start roaring, and every time at 4:30 he would start roaring. So it'd be like your way of knowing when the campus is open and when it's closed.
Whenever my friends come up and visit, I always get to show them, and so now that he's not here, it's almost like there's just a piece of UNA that's missing.
I always walk by class every day I saw him, and knowing he's not going to be here anymore, it's just so heartbreaking.
UNA Director of Media and Public Relations, Michelle Eubanks, says right now it's a difficult time for the campus.
We are focused on allowing our memories and our grief to process.
There will be a memorial for Leo III in November, which coincides with his birthday. In Florence, Jasmine Bird, Fox 54 News.
Well, cicada season is here, which means the burrowed insects are emerging. Here's a look at some of the noisy critters that one of our viewers sent us to check out. This year, there's a lot of them popping up across the U.S. with 2 broods emerging, something that the University of Wisconsin at La Crosse says hasn't happened since Thomas Jefferson was president. UWL says that cicadas take 13 to 17 years to crawl out of the ground. When they finally do, they only live 4 to 6 weeks.
Cicadas kind of creep me out a little bit.
Yeah, don't judge me, Emily, but I've grown up in the South for all of my life up until I moved to the West Coast, and I've always heard the buzzing sound. I always thought that those were advanced crickets.
Advanced crickets?
Advanced crickets. I never knew the name of the animal up until now. So, jobs come with perks sometimes. You learn something new every day.
Advanced crickets. That's what I'm calling them from now on. I used to, when I would go to the campgrounds when I was little, they come out of their shell. I would always pick the shell off of the tree and wear them on my clothes. And now I can't stand them.
Yeah.
They're nasty.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Week in Review. Remember, for the latest updates on the storm analysis and cleanup, stick with Fox 54 News in our mobile app. Keep watching Fox 54 Plus for more digital exclusive programs. For everyone here, I'm Kenesha Dees. See you next time.